Hey, what is up, everyone? Thank you for joining another Speedcast interview session. I'm your host, Zoom CW, also known as Julio. Today we have a super talented guest. You guys know him as Shockwave on Amazon Prime series The Boys. He is none other than Mishka Thébaud. So let's go ahead and get Mishka on the live. Mishka,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm well, thanks, man. Uh, Hey man, congratulations on The Boys,
Thank you.
season one and two. Great
Thank you.
job, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Um, how you doing? How you holding up during this, this crazy, moment in life that we're living in with this pandemic? How are you handling that?
I guess as well as anybody can be handling it at this time, right? I mean, we're all driving ourselves a little crazy being indoors more, but it's the safe thing to do. So I honestly, man, I'm just trying to keep myself busy. Things are getting busier here now. I'm in Toronto right now, Toronto, Canada, and things have finally gotten busier this past month, which has been nice. So yeah, I've been fortunate, been working a bit, and yeah, just keep myself busy, man.
And for those of you that don't know out there, The Boys is based out of Toronto. That's where you guys are mostly doing all the filming, correct?
That's correct.
Toronto and Vancouver are two of the hottest spots for filming. I've been talking to a lot of actors about this. It's not too practical to film here in California anymore in the Los Angeles area. It's become a little bit too expensive for the studios, so it becomes more practical to film outside of the state. And Toronto and Vancouver, Atlanta, Georgia, have become very, big hot spots. How has that experience been for you filming in your basically in your backyard?
It's always fun, right? It's always fun. Honestly, though, I love when I get to film and travel elsewhere because that's just always a treat, right? Because you get to see, some new places and things like that. But yeah, I mean the comfort of filming, just whatever, not too far down the street or whatever it is, right? That's always a blessing. So it's been good, man. Yeah, I've even heard that a lot more productions, potentially might be coming to Toronto or other parts of Canada just because of the situation in the States right now. So there's a lot of potential here, and that's always good. But yeah, no, it's always been pretty busy. Toronto and Vancouver, man, they're always filming stuff.
That's awesome. One of my favorite movies from this past year was filmed out there in Toronto, which was Shazam. Uh, you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw that. Yeah, yeah.
did you like that one? Did you see
I
it?
did. I did see that one. Yeah, I liked it, man. It was enjoyable. It was a good action movie. It was fun.
Toronto can pass as many cities,
It
and
can.
Philadelphia being one of them, right? I mean, I totally thought they were filming in Philadelphia, not knowing that it was Toronto. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, 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 for sure, for sure. Yeah, they can do anything here, man. It's like they shot Suicide Squad down here as well. A lot of it.
Oh, wow.
They changed a lot of parts of the city and stuff, changed it up for it and things like that. So yeah, they do stuff like that.
So I got to ask you, man, about, your experience so far on The Boys. You are Shockwave. You are the fastest man in The Boys universe right now as it stands. And, I truly feel that you still are the fastest because, unfortunately, someone cheated
Yeah,
during,
I
your
I I,
race.
I got robbed. Okay, I got robbed. That's what happened.
You got robbed, man. That guy cheated.
Yeah,
Jesse T, AKA A-Train, he sped away and got a boost, and unfortunately, you still made it close,
I did. I
but
did.
unfortunately, your character, he cheated. Can you talk about filming that scene with Jesse? How was it that day?
Sure. Yeah, it was a hot day. I'll tell you that much. I remember it was one of the hottest days of the summer. Like it was just no clouds in the sky. In Toronto, the weather it gets really humid and thick. So it was a hot one. It was actually really hard filming that one because of the suits, especially mine compared to Jesse's, right? His is much more breathable. He's got more room. Me, it was just fully covered, wearing gloves. So it was a lot. It was really cool though. Cool experience, and the people there are so nice, and the crew was great. You know, always cooling me down in between shots and things like that. But it was, we didn't do as much running as obviously because it's a lot of CGI of just the fast track, and it's over in a second. But we did a lot of the starting the race, obviously the pre celebrating, but we did a lot of basically starting or setting on the line, and then just shooting off, and just so we did a lot of quick short bursts. A lot of takes of just that, just to get different angles and what they needed, and that's pretty much all we did. But just for the record, every time we did those shots, I was way faster than Jesse. I mean, I just want to throw that out there. On those bursts, he was in the dust, man. So this was real.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm a huge Shockwave fan.
Appreciate it.
I love the way how you try to get under his skin, and you're always saying, hey man, he can't be the fastest guy forever, right? He can't. You got to have some competition.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, one of the showrunners, excuse me, the showrunner and the executive producer is Eric Kripke.
Yeah.
He's done one of my favorite shows in the past. Two of them were Revolution and Timeless. Um, you know, he's added that element to this show. Now, it being based off of a graphic comic book, um, he has really adapted it, in my opinion, perfectly to film. Um, it's not as graphic as the comic book itself, but it's graphic enough. It's very graphic.
Yeah.
The first time that opening scene, I don't know if it was the opening scene, but the second scene, where
I know what you're
you
talking about.
know,
Uh-huh.
where the girlfriend gets destroyed
Yes.
by A
A
Train,
train.
right?
Yeah.
That was very graphic, and I was like, it shocked me. What's your take on that, of it being such a graphic show, but yet still being so popular?
First off, when I heard about this show coming and looked into the graphic novel and the comic books, for starters, I was like, they can't go that graphic because the comic books are another level. Like that, there's some things in there where like it just wouldn't be accepted, in public and things like that. So, to watch that on TV. So I understand why they have to find that fine line basically. And the I love how far they push it because they don't push it too far. I think, but they do it enough where yes, it shocks you and it shocks people, which is great, and it pulls itself away from all of the you know other superhero movies. So it really is unique based on what it's doing. So that's what I liked. I liked the idea of superheroes being villains because that they don't do that. So that alone, that idea alone, I was like, this people are gonna love this. I said that before it came out. I was like, this is gonna blow up because it's the perfect time because superheroes are big, but also because it's a unique take on the entire superhero you know idea. So I love that.
Yeah, that's a great point, man. And no one has ever seen anything like this on TV. There's a meme out there. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to see it, Mishka. There's a famous meme where, they have a picture of the Man of Steel at the top, and it says, how America sees America. And at the bottom is a picture of Homelander, and it says how the rest of the world sees America. And I thought that was just perfect, man,
That's
because
a good one.
you know
I
it,
didn't
it,
see that.
it sums up the tide. The theme of the show, right? It's just like, and that was Huey's girlfriend. I don't know, I just got a mind fart there, but Huey's girlfriend is the
Yeah.
girl that gets destroyed by A
Yeah.
Train at the beginning there. Jack Quaid's is the actor, the very talented actor as well. Can you talk about how this opportunity presented itself to you, Miska?
Yeah. I have a good relationship with a lot of the casting directors out here in Toronto, and I'm good friends with or at least I've known them for many years now, and we know each other pretty well as the casting directors who take on the casting for the boys here, at least for the local casting. So yeah, they just had me come in for a role, and that's pretty much what happened at that point. So Yeah, they just gave me the opportunity, which was great. And auditioned, got the part. I was surprised by being brought back. Originally it was just meant to kind of be that just a race really. So that was a cool opportunity. That was unexpected. It was so it was great, man. It was great. Um,
That's awesome, man. So you've been on, this is your second, I believe, comic book based show that you've been on. The first being Dark Matter that was on Sci-Fi. Um, how are these two shows? I mean, what are there any similarities? Are there any differences in terms of the experience being on set?
I think the experience on set can be similar in the sense that it was just good vibes. Everybody's really nice and things like that. But I think there are probably more differences, at least in the material in the show, between Dark Matter and The Boys. For me, especially for my character, there wasn't really much, there's no humor in it and things like that. In Dark Matter, for me, it was just complete humor. And I mean, I had a blast playing the character I did on Dark Matter. That was just so much fun. And also the amount of time that they had spent together, right? Because the boys, they just finished season two, so and there was a big difference, by the way, in season two. The cast, just the chemistry and everything was just at another level. So that's just normal, in shows when you spend enough time together, the chemistry is going to get better, things going to get easier. And it's just more of a family, and that's what I felt when I came in with on Dark Matter day one. It was just, oh, this is a family. And it was just very welcoming, and they were welcoming as well in the boys, but it was, everyone also just trying to still learning each other and how everyone works. So that was probably the biggest difference between the two, but yeah, and also just yeah, different material, man. The boys takes it to another dark level.
And thank you for that. And that's amazing that, the similarities and the differences, but yet, like you said, this one is just at another level in terms of, the darkness, right? I mean, there's a lot of people out there that appreciate the darkness.
Yeah,
I've spoken to a lot of actors recently about, because of the pandemic, you guys have the spotlight, right? The the shows and the TV shows are general, you guys have the spotlight because people really can't go to the theater like they used to.
yeah,
You can't really pack in a theater to go see Avengers or any of those blockbusters or Wonder Woman.
yeah.
That's been delayed. A lot of movies have been delayed, but now the spotlight has pretty much been set on you guys. And it's well deserving, by the way. I think, TV, for years has been, unfortunately not, taken as serious as feature films. And I'm so happy for you guys because you finally are getting that spotlight. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I think it's great. It's great as long as we're able to shine the light on the right things, especially with all the social unrest and a lot of things going on. I mean, it really is crazy times these days. So it's great to be able to bring out the right messages for those situations, but also to just take people away for however many an hour or two, and to just be able to not stress and not think about all the craziness that's in the world right now, and to just and just escape for an hour and just lose yourself into some crazy dark twisted superhero action that is nice to watch. So yeah, it's a blessing for that, but it's also just tough, man, because the no one knows where things are going, right? It's no one knows when this is things are going to start getting close to back to normal. It's going to be such a long time, it feels like. So yeah, so it's mixed emotions.
And you were also part of a show of a very popular show. Well, recently it became popular because they won so many Emmys, right?
Yeah,
I believe you also were in Schitt's Creek.
right. Shit's Creek. Yeah.
Um, how was that experience? And did you expect it to win all the Emmys that it did this past week?
I actually expected it at this point to do really, really well. I didn't expect it to, sweep like it did, but I thought it was going to do really, really well for sure. No, it's funny too because when I did that, it was really early days. Not only just in my acting career, it was very early on when I just started, but also uh, it was really early on in that show. when the show had just really begun. But I mean, you had the two legends on there, right? Catherine O'Hara. I mean, like it was just so it was a blessing to just be in their presence and watch them work, man. But yeah, that was all fun just coming on set. That was real fun. Yeah, it was really early days. I would have loved to have seen it, much later seasons and how it was. I could only imagine. Like it was even more fun. So yeah.
So I got to give you kudos, man. And when you are on set with legends like that, and Eugene Levy, and
Yeah.
I mean, do you start thinking in the back of your mind? I've asked actors this before. Do you start geeking out when you're on set, like, oh my gosh, she was on Home Alone and Beetlejuice, and
Yeah, man, of
he
course.
was on Armed and Dangerous with John Candy?
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
you
yeah.
start to geek out? But you got to get that professionalism, right? You got to
Of
stay
course.
professional.
Of course.
How do you find that ground?
Of course. Well, I don't know. I just think I've always been really good at just keeping myself composed and relaxed and stuff like that. But on the inside, of course, man, you're like, no way, I've been watching you since I was a kid. Like, and it's seeing Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara, and I love Home Alone. It's a classic, man. So it's kind of crazy because especially me, man, just being back home in Haiti, growing up as a kid, and you feel so far away from Hollywood and mainstream and all that stuff. So when you're watching that stuff, I mean, just me thinking back about watching that stuff at such a young age, and then seeing that person right in your workspace, it's jarring sometimes, but so it's hard to keep it cool. But even just like Carl Urban, right? Like, I mean, I was like, wow. Like, I remember seeing him, and I was like, holy crap, that's Carl Urban. Simon Pegg as well. See meeting Simon Pegg, I was like, oh, I love Simon Pegg. So it was yeah, it's great, but you got to keep it chill. You got to look as cool as possible. Be like, oh, hey, very nice to meet you. You just don't show. You can say, I'm a big fan of your work and stuff, but everybody's gonna try to keep it chill if you can, right?
That's great, man. Before I get to the next segment, I just want to let all the my followers know, if you have any questions for Mishka, please type in your questions below on the little question mark box, and we'll get to your questions. And we also have some other fan questions that you guys submitted, so please put your questions. Mishka, getting back to, you've heard of that whole theory of 6 degrees of separation of Kevin Bacon?
Yeah,
So check this out. Right now, when we just mentioned
yeah.
Eugene Levy was in a movie called Armed and Dangerous with John Candy, which also featured Jack Quaid's mother, which is Meg Ryan. You just worked on the show with Jack Quaid,
Yeah.
and you worked on a show with Eugene Levy.
That 6 degrees of separation never fails, huh? Just never fails.
Right now, when we talked about, I just thought about that, man. I just thought about that.
Good on
I
you.
was I've recently become part of 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, because I was fortunate enough to meet Tom Hanks at an In-N-Out locally out here. I was
Wow.
like, oh my God, I'm not part of the 6 degrees of separation. I
Nice,
met Tom
nice.
Hanks and Rita Wilson. That's awesome.
That's great.
So I got to ask you, what research did you do for this role? How did you prepare? Did you read any of the comics? Are you a Flash fan?
Right,
We're huge fans of the Flash and Reverse
right.
Flash. Did you look into any of that prior to doing this role?
I think the most research that I did basically, I mean, based on how the character was brought to me and how it was envisioned. I mean, because if you look I think it's in the Marvel universe, there is another Shockwave, completely different.
Yeah.
And they wanted to stay as far away from that as possible, right? This is its own Shockwave, so this is a unique interpretation meant to be part of its own character in this world, not of any other comic world. So, and based on the race being such a focal point for this character and wanting to be the fastest man in the world, honestly, I treated it personally. I wanted to focus on it as an athlete. I wanted to focus on it as a superhero athlete. So we're in the world, there's superheroes, but then there's also athletes in our world today. So it's just kind of maybe placing superheroes as those, famous athletes. So for me, I'm a big fan of sports in general, but big fan of LeBron James, for example, or Usain Bolt, who is the fastest man in the world. So just looking at them, that's how I took on the role as my character, as seeing it as a young up and coming athlete who was there to dethrone, the best and the fastest, and to claim his spot, as the new fastest man in this universe. And so yeah, that's how I took it. I just did my research a lot on just athletes. I took it in that direction.
That's great, man. I love that you said LeBron James. I'm a huge Laker fan. Hopefully we wrap it up tonight. I think the Nuggets are going to have something to say about that. But
Yeah.
someone asked earlier in the chat, they said, who would win in a race between Shockwave and the Flash?
Ooh. Oh, well, I mean, obviously I'm gonna have to back myself on this. I'm gonna go Shockwave 100%. Like, I mean, I can't go out here and say the Flash. But it's debatable, but I'm gonna go Shockwave 100%.
That's awesome. You're great as a rival to Jesse T on the show. Like I said, he cheated to win. But did you guys do any like reads or chemistry tests before shooting your scenes, or how did that scene come about?
No chemistry reads or anything like that. I remember when I showed up. There's a couple scenes that we shot that don't appear in the show and stuff like that. So, and I think those are the moments actually where we had a great chance to just play and mess around and actually just create that rivalry. Because it was kind of from day one. I met him right before we started shooting something in particular that wasn't aired, but so that was interesting. It was just a polite, hi, and he's a really nice guy. But then we just got right into it, and we just dug into each other, which was great. But so I think right from that point on, it just was kind of set. We're just like, we established that kind of rivalry and chemistry. So it was just right off the bat. We knew. I was like, I'm the best. No, I'm the best. And we just kind of flew off from there. It was nice. But yeah, they gave us a lot of room to play and mess around and shot a lot of different things that added to that and just built on that. So it was fun. And we trash talked a lot behind scenes, joking around, like just messing around,
Nice.
just, stuff like that. But no, it was all good natured for sure.
That's awesome, dude. Now, I know you signed an NDA. Can you tell us about those deleted scenes, or can't you?
I don't know if I can. To be honest, yeah, I honestly I don't know. But it was just kind of like, it was just kind of extensions of what you have seen. So it was just kind of like a little more added stuff in terms of pre-celebration, a lot more moments between us. The moment after I lose the race, there's actually a much longer press conference, for example, which was kind of interesting because it kind of made me. The way it was framed was kind of making me sound like, I'm not, I'm coming again for him is kind of what it was kind of setting it up. So, but yeah. I'll leave it at that. I don't know how much more I can say, but yeah.
I hope they put it like on a Blu-ray release or,
Yeah.
on a digital release format. Somehow I want to
Yeah.
see more of that because I love that trash talking, I want to see more. I want to see more. I think, Shockwave, coming after A-Train is awesome. How he gets under his skin, that
Mm,
builds that insecurity. And A-Train, he's doubting himself, and even goes as far as to, causing the cardiac issues that he's experiencing now.
right. Yeah.
Someone just said, without spoiling, can you tell us whether we'll see more of Shockwave?
uh, yeah, I mean, without spoiling, I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna say, whoops, sorry, I'm not done yet, but you'll just have to see. You'll just have to see what happens, honestly. Yeah. Yeah, you'll just see. There's obviously nothing I can really say. So.
That's awesome. Hey guys, once again, I got to remind you, everyone that's watching, Mishka does sign a non-disclosure agreement when he is cast on the show. So just keep that in mind. So what he can give us, we appreciate. So thank you so much, Mishka, for giving us that. When you were growing up, I know you grew up in Haiti. Uh, was there a particular hero, superhero that you admired growing up, or was there like maybe not a hero, but maybe a villain? I don't know, because there's a lot of people that like the Joker. I'm one of them. I love the Joker. So is there is there a hero that you admired growing up?
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I'm a huge Joker fan, so the Joker was always. As just growing up, I was a huge fan of the Joker, man. Like that's probably my favorite comic book character of all time. But yeah, sticking in that same realm, Batman. Love Batman. So obviously, I love the Joker, but I love Batman. That's always been my favorite superhero. Uh, Mostly because of he's probably one of the most human. He doesn't really have superpowers. Really, he's just got a lot of really cool gadgets and a lot of wealth for those gadgets. But he's yeah, so he kind of crime. You feel like you're able to relate, especially as a young kid. So you feel like you're able to relate a lot more to Batman. Um, Even though it's a lot, it's also just as fun, to think about Spider-Man and just envisioning yourself with these cool powers, right? So Spider-Man is probably a close second for me, but Batman for sure, just on relatability alone.
Mishka, we think the same way. Those are my two also. The Joker and Batman. I love Batman. I'm a big Batman guy, just
Yeah.
like for the same reasons that you said. Uh, when you were growing up in Haiti, I'm assuming, is that where you got inspired to become an actor, or was it when you moved to Toronto? Was there a particular movie or TV show that inspired you to say, "Hey, that's what I want to do"?
A couple of things on that actually. So growing up, I wasn't. I don't think I ever the dream was fully there of just like I'm gonna be an actor. Like, I started doing acting at my school down there. We didn't have an acting class or anything like that, but I could put on shows for my school just for fun. Little sketches, things like that. So for me, it was just fun. It was just a hobby, just a pure hobby, mostly comedy. But that's probably the thing that jump started me a lot was Will Smith and Fresh Prince. I was a big Fresh Prince of Bel Air fan, and so that took me in that direction. Started writing sketches and performing in school and things like that, just having fun. And 100%, I'm a huge Will Smith fan. But uh, eventually, after leaving Haiti and graduating high school and stuff, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So I was just kind of I took a year off in Toronto or in Canada because my mom was already in Canada. So I took a year off trying to figure things out, and my brothers kind of pushed me in the direction of acting. And then so I was like, I'll try it out, and then ended up getting into school there, and that's kind of what set me off. So my love for it and really the goal in mind of becoming an actor came midway in university when I was fully in it, immersed and doing it for real. That's when it really clicked for me. Also, a big inspiration for me, apart from Fresh Prince and stuff, is just Al Pacino. I was always just a really really big fan, and so I watched all his movies growing up. So that was a big part of it as well as The Godfather, Scarface, uh, Sin of a Woman, all those things. So he just big fan of Al Pacino that led that as well.
That's awesome, man. Uh, we all have different inspirations, and I think Will Smith and Al Pacino are two of the my favorite actors of all time.
Yeah.
And Will Smith's portrayal of Deadshot in Suicide Squad, I'm hoping that he comes back.
I don't
That
think he
would be
will,
awesome.
but
But you know what would be even cooler, dude, if he comes onto your show and does. I can totally see him as a corrupt soup, right? He could,
yeah,
but we'll see.
yeah,
Hopefully something like that happens, and you have a scene with him. That would be totally awesome.
yeah, for sure.
Someone in the chat said to be careful of Homelander.
Yeah, that should be a sign in the show for all soups. Beware Homelander. I mean, don't we know that by now? That's for sure. That's
Uh, we talked a little bit earlier about, before we went live, about one of your favorite vacation spots, which is one of my favorite vacation spots,
yeah.
and that's the Cancun area or Quintana Roo down in Cozumel area. Can you tell me why you like that area so much?
Oh, that's easy, man. Well, for starters, yeah, me and my partner, like she loves Mexico and I love Mexico. So it's pretty simple as that in terms of weather. I mean, I'm in Canada right now, man. Who doesn't want to be in some tropical, beautiful weather with the beach and some of the best food in the world? So that's just simple as that for the food, for the location, for the weather. Uh, and just yeah, man, like just exploring the city, seeing the ruins. There's so much to do down there, man. It's just so much.
Where else can you go zip lining and then go under a waterfall, right? And end up in the ocean?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Seeing some caves and all that stuff. There's just
The underground caves.
everything, man. There's tons you can do. Swim with dolphins, all of it. All of it.
Yeah, for those of you who haven't gone to Cancun or Playa del Carmen or Cozumel, it's beautiful down there. They have the ruins in Chichen Itza.
Yeah.
You guys definitely should go. I love going down there. I've gone, I believe it's 3 times. And every time I go down there, it's a different experience and I love it. So
Yeah.
definitely recommend it. And thank you for thank you for that. I'm hoping to go back soon and take, my entire family, but once this
Yeah.
pandemic is over, man.
I hear you. I hear you. I'm with you on that. I'm with you, man.
Mishka, if you don't mind, let's get to some fan questions, man.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
If you guys have a question, reminder, there's a little question mark icon down there. Go ahead and click on that and submit your questions. Our first question for Mishka is, Shockwave has its own brand of running shoes called the XLR8, which is pronounced Accelerate. When are those shoes going to be released to the public so I can start camping out at Foot Locker?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's funny, man. That's funny. Hey, hey, I
Do
would
I have to
love
pay
it.
someone to stand in line for me or what?
I, I would love it if those dropped. I would love it. They just got to ship me a pair. That's it. But
Were those shoes comfortable at least? Or did
I
they make
well,
them look pretty and were they like uncomfortable?
I actually wore two different shoes. What the first ones were actually really really comfortable, but the they just weren't the way it was strapped. The way they had it go to the suit wasn't as secure as I would have liked it. So it was a little loose. So for running, it's not the greatest. But the second pair of shoes I wore were great. Were great. So
Nice. When they release them, man, I got to get you to sign some for me, man. Before we get to the next question, I got to ask you about that scene in season 2 where A-Train runs into you. I believe it's in the hallway. It looks like, you've been there interviewing with Homelander. Can you talk about that scene? Can you talk about, was there more to that scene that we didn't see or anything you can give us?
No, I mean the scene is there for the obvious reasons is to make you guys question certain things. That's all. But there's not more than what you guys saw. It's just there for that setup, man. And not much else I can say except except everything that you saw and every intention behind that scene is exactly. I mean, it's leading you all to think a certain way, obviously, and for the right reason. So we'll see.
The look on Jesse's face when he saw you, man, that was priceless.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Not
what
not
the heck is going on here?
not a pleasant surprise. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for that. How does it? Oh, this is a fan question. You don't have to answer this. How does it feel to replace A-Train in the 7?
Yeah, I can't answer that. I
Someone tried. Let me go to the third question. Someone said, "Are you going to be more prominent in season 3?" Of course, we cannot answer that, guys. The next question is Shockwave really going to get A-Train's suit?
Yo, Shockwave is Shockwave. That's all I'm gonna say. Shockwave is Shockwave. I ain't A-Train. Come on.
People are trying, man. Let's look at the question we have here. We have a couple of questions, excuse me. Here we go. Here's another question. Mishka, if you look below,
Yeah. If you had a chance to act with any actors that were alive, who would it be? 100% would be. I mean, I have to pick two. I love Will Smith and all that. I think for me personally to act with, I think I'd have to go with Pacino or Denzel Washington. Yeah,
ooh, yes.
it'd be one of those two for sure. Easy. You just can't go wrong. So,
It doesn't matter how many times Training Day comes on. I won't change the channel.
nah,
I just keep
exactly.
watching Training Day.
He's something else, man.
Yeah. I mean, and then the Magnificent Seven just came on the other day, and it hit me that Ethan Hawke and Denzel were both
Back.
in both movies. I'm like, oh my God, why didn't that hit me before,
That did
man?
hit you before. Yeah.
Great answer. Let's see, we have one. Someone just said, "How are you?"
I'm good. As good as we can be in this crazy world. I can't complain, man. I'm healthy, so that's all I can say. I'm healthy. Can't complain, man.
Mishka, are there any projects, any future projects, anything that you could tell us about that you're working on?
I mean, it's for starters just because it's just been an insane year given COVID and the lockdowns and all that. There's not too much I can talk about really. The only thing, the latest thing I've been working on is a video game, but unfortunately I can't say anything about it. Uh, which was a lot of fun and it's going to be a good one. But yeah, so there's not much I can say unfortunately, but yeah, just starting to get busy here now and just uh, just back into it, back into the grind. So.
That's awesome, man. Is there anything you would like to tell your fans out there? After we finish here, I do post this on YouTube, so it's going to be available for the whole world to see.
For
Is there
sure.
anything that you would like to say to your fans?
Just, thanks for the support. Thanks for watching the boys. Thanks for loving my character. Thanks for, loving me and everything that I've been in and just, hope y'all enjoy the rest of the season. Uh, it's people thought season one was crazy. Season two is just nuts. I take it to another level. So yeah, just enjoy, keep watching and keep supporting, man. I appreciate y'all.
That's awesome, man. And I just want to personally thank you so much for being on my Speedcast today. Um, I got to ask you, man, can you come back after the season or?
I can't say nothing, man.
No, no, I mean, are you willing to join my Speedcast in the
Oh,
future?
sorry. I thought you meant like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah.
okay. Yeah, of course, man. Anytime. Anytime.
Awesome, man.
Anytime.
Thank you so much, Mishka. I truly appreciate your time being on my Speedcast today. I look forward to seeing the rest of season two of The Boys. I can't wait to see you more in it. Or sorry, I can't wait to see what comes next. And I wish you nothing but success and luck and health to you and your family. Please be safe.
Same to
And
you.
thank you so much, man.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it. All the best, man.
Take care, man. Thank you. Take care.
Take it
And
easy.
I'll talk to you in the future, man.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
See
Thank
ya.
you, everyone.